Okay, so we're going to talk about area of composite figures. So we're going to take what we did a while ago and we're going to push it a little bit. We're going to extend it, okay? So we talked about the area of rectangles, squares, and then we have already talked about the area of circles. So for example, this figure right here is a composite figure. It is two shapes put together to form one shape, okay? So if you look at this figure, it is a semicircle and a trapezoid, okay? So our semicircle formula is half pi r squared, and we used pi r squared divided by 2. So you can still use that formula. That's totally fine with me, okay? And then same thing for trapezoid, 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. I did it in a little different order, and that works also. So let's look at semicircle. So if we're going to find the area, we're going to say 3.14 times the radius. The radius, if the diameter is 14, the radius is 7. So we're going to do 7 squared divided by 2. I'm going to tell you the thing about composite figures, it's a lot of math work, okay? So I'm going to give you a blank work. I'll give you all the white paper, all the scratch paper you want. Guys, just make sure you're doing that work on there. Okay, so order of operations tells us to do 7 squared first, so 3.14 times 49 divided by 2. And I can't take half of anything very easy, so I'm just going to go ahead and multiply 3.14 times 49. And I'm going to do it over here, out of the way. Okay, so if I multiply that, I got 153.86. Okay, so if I bring that back over here, 153.86, I still need to divide it by 2, okay? Because I'm still taking half of the circle. So 153.86 divided by 2. And I'm going to go through and do the math there. So I got 76.93. So the area of this semicircle is 76.93. Okay? And it has this little approximately right here because when we make pi 3.14, obviously by your worksheet yesterday, you know it's kind of changing that decimal point just a little bit, so we got to be careful. Okay? So let's find the area of the trapezoid. So the area of the trapezoid is 1/2. They're putting height first, so that's okay. So we could go 1/2 times 10. And then base 1 is 14 plus base 2 is 18. Do you see where I got those numbers? This base 1, base 2. Doesn't matter which order you put them in. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add. Order of operations tells me to add 14 and 18. So I'm going to get 32 there. Okay, 1/2 of 10 times 32. Half of 10 is 5. 5 times 32 is 160. So the area of the trapezoid is 160 inches squared. Okay, to do a composite figure, I have to add those pieces together to get the total of this figure here. So I would say 76.93 plus 160. And I got 236.93 inches squared for this figure right there. Okay? So you find the area of each piece and then go back and add it together. Okay? So let's talk about this a little bit more. So I'm going to do a couple figures down here. Okay? So let's just look at number 2 first because we just did a semicircle. So let's look at number 2. What 2 figures do we have? We have a triangle, which I'm going to do base times height divided by 2. And we have a what? Square. Do you see the 2 different figures? Okay, so we have the triangle here. And then we have the square. So I'm going to say base times height. Okay, so triangle first. triangle first. So we're going to, the base of the triangle, I'm going to use this, which is 9. The height of the triangle is 6, and I'm going to divide that by 2. 9 times 6 is 54. 54 divided by 2 is 27. So this figure here is 27. Okay, not too bad, right? Now we got to find the yellow figure. So we're going to go yellow figure. The base is 9. The height is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 81 feet squared. So this is 81. So now I would add 27 and 81 together, and I would get 108. So the area of this figure is 108 feet squared because it's area. Right? How do we feel?
Pretty good.
Not too bad, right? Okay. So I'm going to jump over here to number 3.
We used to have one of these. Hold on for now.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead and give it to him. Okay, number 3. So I have a square and then a trapezoid. So I'm going to do the square first. I'm going to say area equals base times height. What's my base? 7. What's my height? 7. So area equals 49 miles squared. Okay, so we got our formula here. What's base 1? It's going to be this piece right here, which is 5. Base 2 is going to be this piece. Well, it doesn't tell me exactly this piece, but it says this part is 7, and the whole thing is 14. So this has to be 7. So base 2. My height is 5. Okay, order of operations tells me that 5 plus 7 is what? 12. 1/2 12 times 5. What is half of 12? 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, so we have 30 and we have 49. So now we're going to take those pieces and add them together. 30 plus 49 is 79. So the area of this whole figure is 79 miles squared. Yeah, it's a big piece. I wish I had that much land or something, you know? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna do number 5 because we haven't done a semicircle yet. We did it on the example, but let's do it real quick. Okay, so we have 2 figures here. We have the semicircle, and then we have the looks like a square. Y'all good with that? So let's do the semicircle first. So it's area equals pi r squared divided by 2. Note that semicircle is not on your star chart, okay? It's circle, and you're just going to have to know to divide by 2, okay? Oh, nice, yes. Okay, so I'm going to put 3.14. Now, here's where I start. I got to be careful. My diameter is 8. So what is my radius? 4. So I'm going to put 4 squared. You have to do that, guys. You make that one mistake, your whole problem is wrong. Okay, divided by 2. Now, order of operations tells me I need to do my exponent first. My exponent is squared, 4 squared. So what's 4 squared? 4 times 4, 16 divided by 2. Okay. Now, I'm going to do 16 divided by 2 because that's easy, right? 3.14, what's 16 divided by 2? It's 8. I can cancel that. So 3.14 times 8 is 25.12. And that's going to be yards squared. And that is just the one piece. This is just the semicircle. Okay? And now I need to find the square, right? So we're going to say area equals base times height. Base is 8. Height is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So this whole thing is 64. So now I'm going to add 64 and 25.12. I'm sorry, not 6. 8. And I got 89.12 yards squared. Okay. So I'm going to have you work. I want you to work on number 1 individually. It's 2 shapes. No, on the front. On the front still. We're not going to the back. This is a parallelogram. This is a half circle.
So you have to put the 2 under it?
So we're going to have to divide by 2. So this is going to be just base times height. And this is going to be area equals pi r squared divided by 2. Okay, work on number 1 for me.